Some love stories know how to end. They reach their conclusion, they bow gracefully, and they leave the stage without looking back. And then there are the other kind, the ones that don't know how to end, the ones that circle back again and again, like a song you can't get out of your head, no matter how many times you tell yourself you're done with it. The ones where every goodbye somehow becomes a setup for another beginning. In the world of the bold and the beautiful, a show built on exactly this kind of love, there are pairings that fans have debated for decades. Couples who have come together and fallen apart so many times that the question stopped being, will they make it, and became something far more complicated. Something far more interesting. And right now, in the summer of 2024, one of the show's most beloved and most debated couples is once again sitting at the center of that question. Because something is happening. Something quiet. Something that has been building slowly enough that you might have missed it if you weren't paying close attention. But soap fans always pay close attention. And what they're seeing has them convinced that the next chapter of this story is about to begin. Before we get into all of it, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell right now. Because this is exactly the kind of story that fans of this show do not want to come too late. Let's break it down. Now, for anyone who needs a quick refresher, and for the longtime fans who could recite this history in their sleep, let's talk about Hope Logan and Liam Spencer. LOPE, the couple that has defined an era of the bold and the beautiful in a way that very few pairings actually do. Hope Logan entered the show as the daughter of Brooke Logan, which meant, from the very beginning, that she carried the weight of one of daytime television's most complicated legacies. The Logan name means passion. It means resilience. It means loving deeply, sometimes unwisely, and never quite learning to protect your own heart the way everyone around you keeps telling you to. Hope inherited all of it, and Liam Spencer, the son of Bill Spencer, torn perpetually between two worlds and two women, became the center of her romantic universe almost immediately. Their story has never been simple. It was never supposed to be. Between them sits one of the great soap opera triangles of the modern era, Hope, Liam, and Steffy Forrester, a dynamic so deeply written into the DNA of this show that the writers have returned to it, in one form or another, more times than most fans can count. They've been engaged, they've been married, they've been devastated by betrayals that seemed unforgivable. They've forgiven each other anyway. They've walked away, truly walked away, in ways that felt final, and somehow found themselves standing in the same room again, wondering how they got there. And through all of it, one question has followed them like a shadow. Are Liam and Hope endgame? Is this the couple the show has been building toward all along? Or is there something, or someone, still standing between them and the answer? And then came the clues. Because in recent weeks, two very specific things happened that the soap fan community has not stopped discussing. The first came from the show itself, a hint dropped during a producer and writer fan Q&A session that quickly made its way through every bold and the beautiful community online. When a fan pressed about Hope Logan's future, specifically about whether her story was winding down after the Thomas chapter, the response was deliberate, careful, and absolutely loaded. According to those who caught the exchange, the answer was clear. Hope's story is far from over. Her most unexpected chapter, apparently, is still ahead. 4 words that hit the fan community like a starting gun. Her most unexpected chapter. Not exciting, not dramatic, not emotional. Unexpected. That word was chosen on purpose. And then came the second clue. Scott Clifton, the Emmy Award-winning actor who has played Liam Spencer for over a decade, was reportedly spotted back on set during a period when Liam's presence on screen had been notably quieter. Put those two things together. A producer teasing Hope's most unexpected chapter, Liam Spencer returning to a more active presence. And suddenly, the question that fans have been whispering becomes impossible to ignore. Is LOPE coming back? Here's where things take a turn, because to understand what a LOPE reunion would actually mean, what it would require, what it would cost, and why it would qualify as genuinely unexpected, You have to understand where Hope Logan is standing right now. And the honest answer is, in a complicated place. The Thomas Forrester chapter of Hope's story changed her in ways that are still unfolding. She went into that relationship as someone the show had always positioned as the moral center. The Logan daughter who tried to do the right thing, who believed in goodness, who extended grace even when she probably shouldn't have. She came out the other side as something more complicated, something more human. A woman who made choices that surprised even herself, who wanted things she wasn't sure she was supposed to want, who looked at the version of herself reflected back in that relationship and didn't always recognize the person she saw. That shift, that loss of certainty about her own identity, is not a small thing. And reportedly, it's exactly the kind of internal upheaval that the show's writers use as a foundation when they're preparing to take a character somewhere new. Could the Thomas chapter have been, all along, the thing that needed to happen before Hope could truly understand what she actually wants? Could the mistakes she made, the illusions she chased, the version of herself she lost and then had to rebuild, could all of that have been clearing the ground for what comes next? Many fans believe the answer is yes, and if the most unexpected chapter hint means what it appears to mean, the writers may agree. But that's not all, because the other half of this equation has been on his own complicated journey. Liam Spencer, for all of his undeniable charm and genuine emotional depth, has never been a character who operates in straight lines. He loves deeply. He second-guesses constantly. He has a particular talent for standing at a crossroads and somehow managing to step in two directions at once. Fans have debated Liam's choices, sometimes gently, sometimes with considerable frustration, for years. And somewhere in the middle of all that debate is a truth that his most loyal supporters have always held on to. Liam Spencer, at his core, has always come back to Hope. Not because she was convenient, not because she was the safest option, but because, apparently, she is the relationship that has always felt the most like home to him, even when he couldn't admit it, even when he chose something else, even when everything between them had broken down so completely that starting over seemed impossible. The question that Scott Clifton's return to a more prominent role raises is a simple one. Is this the version of Liam who has finally figured that out? Is this the Liam who shows up not because he's confused, not because another door has closed, but because he has made an actual, deliberate, fully informed choice? Some viewers speculate that what's coming is a more grounded, more certain Liam Spencer than the show has ever given us. A Liam who has done the internal work, who has stopped running between two worlds, and who comes back to Hope not with uncertainty, but with conviction. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be the version of this story that fans who have been watching for years have been waiting to see? Of course, there's another side to this, because a reunion between Hope and Liam doesn't happen in a vacuum. There are obstacles, significant ones, and in true soap opera fashion, those obstacles have names. Thomas Forrester is the most immediate. Whatever the current status of Hope and Thomas's relationship, and the show has been deliberately ambiguous about exactly where those pieces have landed, Thomas Forrester does not step aside quietly. He never has. His feelings for Hope have been one of the show's most persistent through lines for years, and reportedly those feelings are not simply going to evaporate because the story is pivoting. Could Thomas become the thing that complicates a LOPE reunion in ways nobody expects? Could he be the source of the conflict that the producer was hinting at when they used the word unexpected? Many fans think that's entirely possible. But Thomas isn't the only name worth considering. There is, of course, Steffy Forrester. Now, longtime viewers know that the Liam-Steffy dynamic never fully disappears. It exists as a permanent undercurrent beneath everything Liam does, every choice he makes, every relationship he enters. Steffy has moved forward. She has built a life with Finn that, by all appearances, represents genuine happiness and stability. But soap operas are not particularly interested in leaving stable situations undisturbed. Is it possible that a LOPE rekindling triggers something in Steffy? Not necessarily a full triangle, but a complication. A reminder of history that nobody was prepared to revisit. Some viewers speculate that even a hint of Liam moving back toward Hope could create ripple effects through Steffi's world that haven't been fully calculated yet. And in a show this interconnected, those ripples have a way of becoming waves. And then came the part fans weren't expecting. Because the more that word, unexpected, gets turned over and examined, the more interesting it becomes. Think about what would not be unexpected in a Hope Logan storyline. Another complicated romance, another crisis of identity, another dramatic confrontation, another painful ending. Those things, for all their entertainment value, would not qualify as unexpected. Fans have seen them. They know the shape of that story. What would be unexpected? What is the one direction the show could take Hope that would genuinely surprise the people who have been watching her story for years? Some fans believe the unexpected element isn't who Hope ends up with, it's who she becomes in the process. That the real surprise isn't a reunion with Liam, or a final break from Thomas, or the arrival of some new romantic complication. It's Hope Logan, the girl who always tried to be good, who always tried to be careful, who always tried to make the right choice, finally making a choice that is purely, completely, and without apology her own. Whatever that looks like, however that lands, whoever it hurts. Isn't that the Hope Logan story the show has never quite told? Isn't that the version of this character that all of those years of careful, cautious, romantic history has been building toward? Many fans believe it is. And if the writers are as aware of that potential as the producer's hint suggests, if they genuinely understand that Hope's most powerful chapter is one where she acts from her own truth rather than everyone else's expectations, then what's coming may be more compelling than anything this character has been part of before. Which brings us back to those 4 words, the ones dropped in that fan Q&A session, the ones that the bold and the beautiful community has been turning over ever since. The most unexpected chapter. Not a louder version of what has come before. Not a more dramatic retread of familiar ground. Something genuinely new. Something that, reportedly, even the people closest to the story are describing with a particular kind of quiet excitement. The kind that shows up when writers know they've found something real. And when you pair that with Scott Clifton back on set, with Liam Spencer apparently preparing to step back into the center of the story, the picture that emerges is one that fans who have followed this couple for years will recognize immediately. It's the picture of something that was never quite finished, a story that circled back one more time. Not because the writers ran out of ideas, but because, as the best soap opera love stories always insist, some chapters simply cannot be closed until every last thing has been said. For longtime viewers, the possibility of a LOPE reunion carries a particular kind of emotional weight, because this isn't just about 2 characters, it's about what they represent. Hope Logan has always been the show's most persistent argument that goodness is possible, that you can come from complicated circumstances, love unwisely, make real mistakes, and still find your way back to something true. Liam Spencer has always been the show's most persistent argument that second chances are real, that people can grow, that the choices that defined you at your worst don't have to be the final word on who you are. A reunion between these 2, done right, done with the depth and the honesty that their history demands, wouldn't just be a romantic storyline. It would be a statement about what the show believes love actually is. Not perfect. Not uncomplicated, not free from history or pain or the long shadow of everything that came before, but real, chosen deliberately, with full awareness of what it costs and what it means. Isn't that the story worth telling? Isn't that the LOPE chapter that the fans who have been with this couple from the beginning have been waiting for all along? Some love stories know how to end. They reach their conclusion, take their bow, and leave cleanly. And then there are the other kind, the ones that keep coming back, not because they're trapped, not because the people in them don't know better, but because some connections are simply too true to stay buried, too real to stay finished. Hope Logan's most unexpected chapter is apparently just ahead, and if the clues mean what they appear to mean, if Liam Spencer is stepping back into the story with a purpose that fans haven't seen from him before, then this summer in Los Angeles may be about to remind everyone exactly why LOPE has never been a story the show could walk away from. Whatever is coming, however unexpected it turns out to be, we will be right here, watching every single moment of it. And something tells us we won't be disappointed.